Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. This is HD and welcome to a StarCraft 2 exhibition broadcast that I'll be bringing out to you guys here on my YouTube channel. Hope you guys all enjoyed the Brood War videos that I did a few days ago, and I will be going ahead and doing some Brood War casts now and then, maybe like once a week or something, because there's been a lot of good response and feedback from the community as to the Brood War videos, so I will be doing those once in a while. But getting back to StarCraft 2 here, I'm going to be bringing you guys an exhibition set of matches here between Mouz.Hasu obs and SlayerS.MMA. This is going to be really good, guys, because it's pretty much pitting one of Korea's best versus one of Europe's best. I would say Hasu obs is probably the best Protoss in Europe, you know, side by side with, of course, his teammate Mana. But this is going to pretty much be a Euro versus Korean battle, and we'll see how this is going to go down. Now, this is going to be a best of 3, and because so many people out there have been saying that they really enjoyed, looks like we have a little bit of admin, a little bit of lag or something like that here. When I say exhibition match on my YouTube channel, of course, guys, I do mean it's not like a tournament, for my own tournament, but it could be an outside tournament. I'm not too sure. But for all intents and purposes, of course, it's basically an exhibition best of 3. Now, I don't know if you guys enjoy this or not, but I have been bringing this out in almost every video, the win rate statistics per matchup for these players. I think people enjoy it. I think more information is always better. But let me know in the comments down below. And for Hasu, his win rate here against Terran, actually 55%. A very solid win rate against Terran. And haven't really seen Hasu really mess up any PBTs lately due to some kind of build order loss or anything like that. So a solid Protoss versus Terran player. And this is a really interesting thing. I looked up MMA's win rate statistics. You guys all know that MMA won the BlizzCon Cup recently. Not BlizzCon Cup, but the Blizzard Cup. MMA's win rate against Protoss actually only 45%. That's not as good as I thought it would be, you know? All of his other matchups, especially, you know, Terran versus Zergs, astronomically high, but his PVT not the best. And when you think about it, I guess he doesn't really have that many super good Protoss players to practice with on his team. I guess he has, gosh, Alicia, who I believe is a Protoss player, but it kind of sucks for MMA because he's facing off essentially against one of the best Protosses over on the other side of the ocean. So this should be good practice for him. We'll see how it goes down. And the map, of course, is going to be Antigua Shipyard, which has been introduced into the map pool as of a couple months ago. So let's see how this goes down. MMA right now controlling the Xel'Naga Watchtower in the middle of the map. He did go ahead and throw down that natural command center on the low ground, actually. And it's actually a little bit risky for Terran players to do this. I'm surprised that so many Koreans are starting to do this now, and a lot of, you know, other Terrans are picking this up as well. I think it's very risky, but as long as you throw up a bunker or two here, you definitely can hold off aggression now. Let's see if Hasu has scouted the natural. No, he has not. However, he is coming out across the field right now with that preliminary Zealot and Stalker. And he's going to look to apply some pressure right now, but I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to really do anything and punish the fact that MMA decided to throw this on the low ground. Now, of course, the benefits you get from throwing this on the low ground is you don't have to lift it off. You get it right away. But, of course, there's a risk versus reward, and let's see if he's going to be able to hold it off. I think so. And the 4 Marines actually coming out here. MMA getting a little greedy. He wants to pick off that Zealot, and he actually ended up losing one of his scouting SCVs, but he has a second one making its way over to the natural right now. He will finally get his first scout off of the day, as Hasu did go ahead to throw down that Nexus on the low ground. And I guess both these players are just going to try to play a macro game here, which I guess isn't really much of a surprise. Oh, the SCV tried to use the steam vents. Sometimes you'll see that workers will try to use the steam vents to hide and juke the enemy attacking unit, but it's not really a surprise to me that both these players are going macro. It's a big map. They have cross spawn, and anytime you have cross spawn, the longer rush distance will mean that you are going to be able to get up that command center and get up that Nexus much sooner, and you're going to be able to play a long-term game. So MMA here actually has a lot of barracks. This is more of the old school style of playing. Whoa! That's more of the old school style of playing Terran versus Protoss. Back in the beta, you would see a lot of Terran players going for that 1-Rax expand into mass 4 barracks, and then getting their upgrades going. And this is going to allow MMA to have a lot more Marine production, and you guys can see right now, he's making a push into the center of the map. I don't think Hasu really expected this many Marines to come out across the field right now, and he will have to use some of his warp gates to warp in additional reinforcements. He has a robotics as well, but he decided to queue up an observer first. So he's going to have to rely on these 3 warp gates to hold off any aggression, but luckily for him, it looks like MMA doesn't want to bite off more than he can chew, and he is going to go ahead and fall back, and I would imagine take control of this Xel'Naga tower. You can actually stay here for a very, very long time, especially if you rally all 4 of your barracks over there, and he has not yet. But, you know, it's a good position for him to be at, and actually going to pick off Hasu first Stalker coming up the ramp right there, and that is why holding up that high ground is so important, and Hasu made a mistake, I feel like. He should have sent the observer in first. It's the whole reason why you get an observer, so you can check the high ground, especially on this map. It's so risky to just run up there, and that ended up costing him a Stalker because he didn't have vision up there. So let's see where he goes from here. He's got 3-gate robo, and hasn't opted to throw down any other tech quite yet, but he might just go 5-gate robo or some combination like Twilight Council or something like that afterwards. We'll have to see. He's actually going to run up the ramp one more time here. Now his micro is going to have to be on point. He pulls back the 2 weakened Stalkers, the 2 without the shields and the 1 in the orange. Very nice control right now, and he's trying to pot shot the Marines at the same time. He's already killed off 9 units, 10 units for 500 loss. Oh my god, his control here actually really good, and I think MMA just trying to bite off more than he could chew. Now though, he's got Marauders, and Marauders change the game dramatically, as that is going to really scare those Stalkers, especially if they have concussive shells, which they don't yet. But he is about to get +1 weapon, +1 stim, excuse me, not +1 stim, but stim, and that's going to help his bio ball immensely. But so far, MMA actually just holding down the center of the map, looking pretty solid there, as he gets not only stim, but as well combat shields, and he's starting to get that traditional starport that you'll see after the factory, so he can start to pump some medevacs out. And this is pretty much how Terrans play against Protoss nowadays. Oh, that was really good. You can actually do that. You can zoom in and see the blur in the air, and that shows you that there's an observer right there, and MMA actually noticed that there was a blur there, went ahead and picked off the observer. So now Hasu has no idea where MMA's forces are, and that was a good move. But this is traditionally what Terran players do. As I was saying before, they'll usually go with just mass out bio and try to get some medevac support in there, and that's how they play usually against Protoss. We'll have to see if MMA can overcome that 45% win rate disadvantage that he's got traditionally, historically. So I guess Hasu has that 10% edge right here, and we'll have to see how it goes down. But for now, both these players just building up large forces in their own bases. And do we have any other tech coming out from Hasu? I did see a Twilight Council, and yes, he already has a Twilight Council. I'm not exactly sure where he built it. Gosh, am I just not noticing where the Twilight Council is? Where is it? I can't find the Twilight Council for the love of me. But he has it. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm just blind. So there's the Twilight Council, and he has Templar Archives coming down right now. He's going to go right into mass, I guess, charged on Archon style here, which is a very powerful composition against Bio. And the way for MMA to deal with that is not to overcommit to Vikings, really. He just needs to continue to produce a ton of medevacs. He won't need Vikings because there aren't any Colossus on the field. And it would be great of him to get some Ghosts in the play, too, because EMP Shockwave is going to deal with Templars very easily. Now, MMA has broken up the side over to the third, and he controls the high ground once again. And this is great for him because now he can launch an attack into the third very easily. And he's got the high ground advantage, and at the same time, he is dropping behind the main. He's got 2 medevacs worth, but he gets picked off. One of the medevacs gets picked off. The secondary medevac probably going to go down here, and I don't think that MMA really did any damage right there at all. Let's check the workers kill tab. Just 2, so not very good at all. But MMA has his command center down a little bit sooner, so it's not too terrible of a loss for him. But it would have been great to see MMA do a little bit more damage right there. Now, we may have another battle here on our hands. Hasu Obs with 1 armor, 1 weapons. MMA with 0 armor, 1 weapons. He has the upgrade disadvantage here, and 2 armor is about to finish for Protoss, so he's going to have 2 upgrade upgrades worth of disadvantages, and because of that, he's going to have to give up the high ground, as HDreplays has just a fleet of charge lots. My goodness, he's got so many charge lots. That is 15 charge slots right there ready to go, and he's adding on 4 more right now, so he has got 19 charge lots, and MMA is going to try to circumvent the superior ground army by taking to the skies once again, but most Protoss players are totally privy to this, and feedback is ready to go. Now these medevacs don't have full energy, so a feedback would not kill the medevac, and HDreplays not paying attention. There we go, he gets the feedbacks off, so now those medevacs cannot heal, and in fact, they're so weak they can be picked off very easily. MMA's got to be careful how he plays this, and he decides to pull away. At the same time, it looks like Hasu also made a front here at the front door of MMA, but MMA just pulled back and used a little bit of stim. So just a little bit of cat and mouse right here as MMA now controls the high ground once again, but he is not looking to overcommit, and I think what he's going to do here is let these medevacs recharge, regroup, and maybe go in for another drop play as he attacks the middle of the map. And here we go. He's trying to go up into those charge lots, but there's so many charge lots. My god, he has a full screen of charge lots, HDreplays does, and he is about to finish 2-3, excuse me. So that is a pretty powerful army of charge lots now. MMA finally adding on the ghost that he needs so he can chop down the zealots by taking out their shields, and they are pretty grouped up right now. Now it's important for HDreplays to go ahead and spread his Protoss army apart so that he can mitigate the damage that a single EMP shockwave can do. And let's see if he does that. He has launched Guardian Shield. There goes the force fields, but the force field's actually hurting the charge lots. And there's the EMP shockwave. It smacks the army right in the face. But there's a pylon down here reinforcing for HDreplays. So HDreplays gets the bottom side to his advantage, but in the meantime, it looks like his entire army is just going to get crushed by MMA from all angles. Oh my god. And I think MMA brought the units that he had over here on the high ground just to reinforce his army, and that was a really good move by him. But at the same time, it's not over yet because Hasu sends a couple of zealots into the mineral field. I'm not sure how he got those in. Maybe he just walked them. But I don't think he really got that many worker kills, just 6 really. And all of a sudden, that big battle really swinging in MMA's favor. He got some great EMP shockwaves. He just had better control, better positioning, and I really think the force fields ended up hurting HDreplays there. He threw down 3 force fields that prevented his zealots from getting in melee range. What you want to do is chop that Terran army in half so that your zealots can deal with the frontal army, and then you pull away. And he didn't really do that all that well. So this could be bad for HDreplays. He's going to lose the Templar. Now he's trying to make the switch into Colossus. Are there Vikings on the field? There are 2 coming out of the starport right now. But it might be okay for MMA, really. He might not even need the Vikings to deal with this army because he just got some great EMPs. My god, he just smacked everything. There is no shields at all in that Protoss army, and MMA taking the advantage of his mass bioball up to the high ground. He's going to pick off that Nexus essentially for free. I don't think HDreplays is going to be able to hold this off. The Nexus is going down, and there's a couple of storms. I think he hit those storms kind of on the edge of that bio ball, at least making it worthwhile, not letting his Templars get sniped. But the Colossus can't say the same for them because one will get sniped. Now, can he clean up or not? It's looking like he might be able to, but honestly, MMA pulls way ahead because he killed off that Nexus. And MMA's just got that extra base advantage down. He's starting to rally troops over from his barracks all the way over to the right-hand side of the map, and it's really a losing battle now for HDreplays, who may just want to cut his losses and you know what, go on to game number 2 because maybe just save his stamina a little bit. Sometimes you don't want to just overcommit, but you gotta give credit where it's due. HDreplays is staying in this game, not gonna give up quite yet, trying to represent Europe here as best he can. And we'll have to see if he can or not. I mean, MMA's army is just getting giganticulous, if that's a word. He has, well, he's actually pretty far behind in upgrades. He's just about to finish 2-2. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. His entire build order was just mass Marines. Look, 4 barracks, 3 with tech labs, 1 with a reactor, 2 more barracks down here with a tech lab and a reactor apiece. He's just got so much production. It's like an assembly line, mass producing units right now, and he has now gone ahead with the safety and security that he feels to confidently throw down a command center at the gold as well. Can't blame him there. And HDreplays is running way far behind in this game, but I will say, if you look at the top right-hand corner, HDreplays really is only behind by 11 supply. That's very surprising to me. I would have thought, honestly, that MMA would be way, way further ahead than that. Maybe he needs to throw down more barracks. Maybe I'm giving too much credit to MMA right here because he's only got 6. It would be great for him to throw down maybe 3 more with reactors. But nevertheless, he still has a larger army. Let's see what he can do here. He probably want to make sure he doesn't lose those Vikings because he's going to need the Vikings to deal with the Colossus here. And he really doesn't have that many Vikings. He's only got 5. Huh. That's very, very intriguing. MMA here not as far ahead as I thought he was. And maybe that 45% win rate that he's got is starting to show its ugly face, rear its ugly head against HDreplays' superior 55%, because HDreplays has actually climbed back in this game unbelievably. Now, if he can win this next battle, he's certainly in the game. He's just got to be careful about those fully charged ghosts. 6 ghosts right there. That's about 3 EMPs apiece, but oh my god, 2-3 of the ghosts going down. They did get 1 or 2 EMPs off, but I think that battle went better for HDreplays. He just killed off all the ghosts, and now the Vikings are all going down as well. As long as HDreplays can keep the Colossus alive, he's in a better position, and he gets his storms off, and all the Colossus are doing so much damage to the Bio Ball. Unbelievable, unreal. HDreplays just crushes MMA's army. That was spectacular, and I don't think MMA can believe it either. He has just lost this game, it looks like, or at the very least has lost a major battle, and now he's going to lose this planetary fortress. You cannot lift off a planetary. All you can do is hope to repair it and keep it alive. Now, there is a lot of marauders on the ground, though. MMA gets forward with his marauder. He's going to pick off a ton of Colossus. He gets 2, but he loses a lot of marauders in that exchange as well. So this is getting down to the wire right now. Now, of course, MMA has one advantage, and that is that he has a planetary fortress. And that means that only the Colossus can shoot the PF. Everything else doesn't want to get in range. And so MMA can just pull back and wait at the PF. But it looks like HDreplays realizing, hey, you know what? I don't have to attack the planetary. I'm just going to go ahead and move right into the Nat or the 3rd. Now, this is a risky spot because he could get caught by units on either side, but luckily for him, all of MMA's production facilities are at the Nat and the main, so this could just be curtains for MMA. I cannot believe what I am seeing right now. HDreplays just ripping through everything, and now MMA coming up with some forces up at the top. I would expect a warp in here to deal with this promptly, although HDreplays got a Colossus, and there's a GG. Wow, I can't believe it. It's not very often you see just a straight up table flip right like that right there. That was essentially a table flip situation where, you know, on one side you had it completely unbalanced with MMA about to take the W after crushing that Protoss army, and then HDreplays just said, you know what, I'm not giving up. And I, as a commentator, I was saying, I think HDreplays should just give up and move on to game 2. But no, he stayed in there and he actually won the battle. That was fantastic. So that means that HDreplays is going to take the first game here against MMA, and we'll have to see what happens in game 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a great comeback for HDreplays. Got to be good for his momentum and confidence, and we're going to go ahead and go on to game 2. This is HD signing out.